We were discussing about architecture or AWS, how actually data centers are aligned in the backend. So we had taken example of Singapore region. So in Singapore region, this is a region here, and when you get into this region and check out the availability zones, so there are three zones here. Fine. Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. Zone will have a code and as well as region will also have a code. And whenever we do the configuration, this code is very important because we do not use the name, we use these codes here. And this is the status of your availability zone and the status of your region here. But in case of AWS, the number of availability zones are not fixed region to region. So what I mean to say that in Singapore, you can see there are three availability zones. Okay. But same time, if you go to the North Virginia, in North Virginia, you will find out six availability zones here. One, two, three, four, five, six. These are the six availability zones. So number of availability zone in different regions, you will find different availability zones here. Okay, region to region. So this is one thing. So when you choose any deployment setup, suppose you want to create any EC2 or you want to do your own setup. So there are a couple of things you always have to keep in your mind when you are selecting your region. Fine. So before getting into it, let's walk through this PPT here. So some knowledge about the AWS region. One AWS region contains three availability zones. It can be minimum two availability zone to maximum six availability zone actually. Fine. So we have seen this. Each availability zone in AWS region is isolated and separate from other availability zone in same AWS region. So we have seen that the availability zones will be in different physical locations and the power, the next thing it says that power supply, cooling, network, even the physical security, because these availability zones, what is availability zones end of the day? These are the data centers. Okay. So the data center in availability zones will be in different locations so that these things, power supply, cooling system, and the physical security as well as the network also can be separated here. So in case one availability zone is down, it is not going to impact the other availability zone, and each availability zone will be interconnected via the redundant connection. So what is the meaning of redundant connection? So suppose this is your region. In this region, you have three availability zone, zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. Okay. So all these are going to be connected with each other. Okay. And this connection will be the redundant connection. Redundant means like this. If one connection is failed, you can connect with the second connection. Same way here also. And all zones inside a regions are connected to each other. So this is a redundant connection, ultra low latency, because this is a backbone private network of the AWS. The replication do not happen via the internet. It happen via the private network. So the latency is very less because the connection is very fast here. Fine. So when you want to select any region, you have to keep few things in your mind. First of all, you have to think about your customers. Where is your customer located in? Suppose if you take the example of a website which you want to deploy for your customer, and your customers are located in the US region, but you are deploying it from the India. You are in India right now, but your customers are in the US. So actually, for whom you are deploying this website, that you have to ask to yourself. You are deploying it for the US customer. So it is better that you select the US region, any of the US region, and deploy that EC2 instance in that particular region. So it will be faster for your customers. If you are deploying it for your own purpose, you can select the India because the latency, if you are in India, latency will be very less. Similarly in Canada also, right? If you are in Canada, just for your own purpose, if you want to deploy it, deploy that EC2 instance in that particular region. If any region is available nearby, you deploy that. But if your customers are located in some other region, it doesn't make any sense that you are deploying it in your own region. So this is one thing. Okay, so through Through this criteria, actually you can decide like how can you use a particular region when you are deploying any of the resource, not only EC2 instance. Second thing is the services. One thing we have to understand about the AWS, that it is not mandatory that you will get all services in all the regions. Some services will be available in some region, and it might be possible that those services are not available in other regions also. So when you are designing your infrastructure, you also have to consider this thing in your mind when you are selecting the region. Actually, what kind of services you need, whether those services are available in that region or not. Okay. Third thing is the cost. Cost of your resource will vary from region to region. Let's say you are creating a EC2 instance in one region. It might be possible the cost of the same EC2 instance will be different in the different region. Okay, so costing is also one of the important factor. SLA agreement can be different. So SLA means service level agreement, uptime of the services, the agreement between AWS and the client, between AWS and between us. So SLA will be different region to region. And the last important thing is the compliance. Okay, so when you are deploying your setup in the multiple region, you should also consider the uh, data part also into the consideration, because different authorities has objection that the data should not pass through their political boundaries. Okay, so that thing also you have to keep in your mind, that what are the compliance regulation and criteria in that particular region. And considering all these factors, you can choose a region for your overall setup here.